Today's video is going to be lowering my S650. We got some Steeder progressive lowering springs. I have no clue how to do this, but y'all gonna learn with me, or y'all gonna already know how to do it and watch me fail or not fail, because we're gonna get this done. We got to get this done today. I've been holding off on this for too long, so let's get into it. Obviously right here, you guys need to jack the car in the air and put some jack stands underneath. You want to be safe at all times when you're doing things like this. Jack stands aren't the best, but do it anyway. First things first, we got to take off the wheel. Next thing we got to do is take off the brake calipers. If you don't know how to take off the brake calipers, there's two bolts, one here and one up below. So the socket you're gonna need a wrench, a socket wrench. So the socket wrench you're gonna need is a 15mm one. Preferably get the extended one, but you can do it with the short one. It's just easier to maneuver when you get back there. There's only two bolts. A lot of people will not tell you this when you get over here doing your lowering springs. So this will save you some time. Use a 15mm. When taking off your brake caliper, make sure you rest it on something. That's why I have that green box right there. Rest it on something because you do not want to put strain on your brake lines. It can mess it up. So have it elevated on something and rest it on something. So now that the brake caliper is off, you need to take off the rotor next. Place that in an area where it does not get scratched. Get this out the way. So the next screw you're gonna go for is the socket wrench right here with that. So to get that one off, you're gonna need a regular wrench, about 11x16, and you're gonna need a socket wrench that's 3x4. You gotta hold the back and wrench out the other side. If you have an impact gun, you're still gonna need this wrench, and it's still gonna be 11x16. Impact gun is gonna be a lot easier, but if you ain't got it like me, get you a 3x4 socket wrench and muscle it out. So the next two bolts that we're going for, you're gonna need a 24-bit, about this size, and you're gonna be a bigger socket wrench about this size. If you have a impact gun or compact gun, whatever it's called, you could use that as well. It's actually a lot easier if you use that. When you twist these to the ends, you want them to be almost flush with your fingers. So when you bang it out with a hammer, you're gonna need a hammer. You're gonna bang it out hard as you can to get these over here. The bolts over here are splined, so they have no thread at the end. So you have to bang it out. There we go. So as you can see, it's spline. You have to, from this to here, you have to knock it out, and you don't want to mess up the threads on this side. So now that they're both out, you just want to pop this out like this, and then you got to take off the ABS lines right there. So now that the ABS line is disconnected, we can go from the top, loosen it from the top, and it should just fall out straight from the bottom. For this one, you're gonna need a 15mm socket wrench just to unbolt these at the top. So got the shock out. There's an old shock and a new shock we're gonna be putting in, or spring. Our new spring is gonna be this one, very short, as you can see. To see real size comparison, this is what they look like. At the bottom, I'm losing like probably a whole inch, a full inch in height on the front. When compressing your spring, you're going to need spring compressors. They clamp down on each side. You want them facing each other, and they should be about 180 degrees away from each other. You clamp down on them, you can use an impact gun, or you can use a wrench. A wrench is going to take a lot longer, but it is what it is. Be careful with it, because a spring is already compressed. When it decompresses without being decompressed properly, it can explode and it can hurt you. As you might see in another clip, it didn't hurt me, but it was a slight decompressed that looks bad. So right here, I'm actually compressing the springs on both sides. You kind of want to do it evenly so it'll be easier. So you see me do one side and then you'll see me flip it over and do the other side. It got to a certain point in the impact gun, it wasn't doing much. And right there, you see it pops out like that. Make sure it's away from your face. As y'all see, that's why you want to be careful because it can shoot up like that. But I'm good. Everything's good. You always want to keep your face out of the line of sight because that could possibly happen. But anyway, you want to take this off because you are lowering your car. You want to cut one of these off. This bottom portion off. Cut one of these off. I try to make it as even as possible. It should be good. When you compress your spring and you put it back on there, I'm going to reiterate this again. You want to make sure the Steeda, these are Steeda Progressive, you want to make sure it's readable. You don't want it upside down. You want it like this when you put it back on a shock. I'm going to show you. When putting the new spring on there, you have to compress that first, then put it on the shock. And once it's on the shock, you have to decompress it. If your impact gun isn't as strong as mine, then you can get a 13x16 wrench and twist it into yourself. Right here, I'm decompressing the springs one by one on each side. So now we got everything in play. We're just gonna reverse engineer it, put it all back together, put the rotor back on, the wheel back on, tighten those two bolts and that one bolt in the back. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So this is what we looking like after we got the lowering springs on. So next we're gonna do the back. The back is a little different process. I heard the back is a lot easier, but we gonna find out. So now we got the front end done. It's in the air already on for the back. I will say I already did one side, so we're just doing the second side. The back is the easiest ever. So I recommend you starting doing the front. The front a lot harder. I wouldn't say it's hard. It's just a lot more handsy, I guess. The back is just bolts. You just knocking out the bolts, taking it out, putting it back in. Is super simple, super easy. So let's get to the back. As you see, we on jack stands right now. So let's go ahead and knock this out. This little clamp right here, or this little bolt right here, this little bolt right here, we have to take off these two bolts at the top and the ABS light down here. Get a little close up. ABS light right here, it literally just pops up. Easy disconnect. For this small bolt in the back, I use a 13mm socket wrench with an extension on it so you can get past this little line right here. For these two bolts at the top, you want to use a 18mm. If you have an impact gun, it's a lot quicker. But if you don't, and you like me, do it the old-fashioned way, bro. As long as you get it done, that's all that matters. The top screws are gonna have a pink like residue around it. That's how you know how to separate them. So the next socket you're gonna get is under this drum area. There's one right here and one directly behind it. You're gonna use a 15mm socket. So once that's complete, you should be able to just pull out the socket or the shock just like this. Always remember when you start doing the back half, always put it on a jack stand. is supporting the subframe, because this is an extension with a 13mm socket. Fits right. Next bolt you got to take off is this one right here. After the other two, you have to use a 21mm. With, you can use an extension if you want, but always remember when you start doing the back half, always put it on a jack stand. It's supporting the subframe, because the next thing we got to take out is this bolt right here, that blue bolt right there. We take out that blue bolt, the subframe is going to drop. You want the subframe to drop so you can get the spring out in the back. So always, but even before you even start it, have the jack supporting the subframe, so when it does drop, you can slowly lower it. You might have to let down the jack so our subframe could drop. When I let it down, you're gonna see the whole back end drop down, and then once you drop it down, you should be able to get to your spring a lot easier. So I got it out. You might need a second pair of hands. So now it should just pop right out, and this rubber thing should pop out too. You need this rubber thing. This rubber thing will be on top of this, like this. You want to take this, put this to the side. You want to get your new spring. Always letters facing up so you can read it, and you want to just reposition it in here. And once you put it on the inside, you want to line it up. These little rubber stoppers right here, you want to have that in, meet that curl just like that. You want to put it in just like that, and same thing for the bottom. It's crucial. Crucial. Got it in there. So now we want to adjust this like that, and then if we can get it right under the center part, and then you want to lift it again. Hold on, see if I can lift this a little bit. Get that in there, and then you want to go around, and you want to lift the subframe back into place. That's how you know it's in there. Lift it, keep lifting, keep lifting, keep lifting. Alright, that should be, when it gives some give, that's when I let go. So like right there. So now that it's lifted into place, we want to start putting everything back together. So we're going to start off with the blue bolts that go back here, and the plate that goes back here in the front. Figured a way. If you want to, how you would originally do it, you would pop the cap off here. If you're replacing it, I'm not replacing it, I'm just cutting it. So I kind of took the shortcut route like that. And just keep cutting around it till you can get it off into it like that. Remember, your shocks are your blue ones. If you got the S650, hopefully they're like that and nobody play with your car, but factory, they should have a blue tint on it. Now that that's done, you want to take your pink tinted ones. That's for the top of these screws right here. And push it into place. Now they don't tell you this, but you might have to be a little innovative and tap it, because there's these alignment screws. It's supposed to go right on top of this. It's right here, and you'll see it once you get to it. You might have to tap it in, lightly tap it in, get it into place, And now you good, you golden. Hand tighten it first, as Then the next one, you gotta get your mini screw. I think that is a 13-inch socket. And you wanna put that back into place. Now this one has a little hook that you'll see. It's right under where you gotta actually put it in it. And make sure you get it in there. Put that in there. Then you got your ABS line. Remember, it slips right in there. And then now you can just put the car back on. Everything is back in place. Put your wheel back on.